Hello! Today I'm making the most delicious mushroom risotto. Very simple to make, and I just want to get right into it. I have mushrooms I've been slicing. I get a large container. I clean them off with a napkin, and then I just give them a slice. Now this is a large one, so I'll cut them in half. And then I put that to the side. And I have one onion. This is a Spanish onion. You can use any type of onion. Also use any type of mushrooms that you like. I happen to like just the button mushroom. You can use portobello. Okay, so one onion. We'll chop that up a little finely. There's not that many ingredients. It's really delicious. So you just need, what I'm going to use is 1 cup of dry risotto. And then you need about 4 to 6 cups of stock, broth, whatever you have. I have that heating on the stove right now. Okay, so then we're just going to cut up some garlic. You could put anything in your risottos. My favorite is mushroom. Asparagus is wonderful in risotto. It's whatever you like. Alright, so I have about 4 small cloves of garlic. And like I always said, throw a napkin down and then you just clean up this 1, 2, 3. So now we're going to go over to the stove and we're going to start cooking. Okay, so I'm heating my pot up. I'm going to add a few tablespoons of olive oil. And we're going to add 1 onion that we chopped. And we're also going to add our garlic. Okay, so now we're going to let that cook down. We're going to let it get translucent. And then we'll add the mushrooms. Alright, so they're getting nice and soft. So we're going to go ahead and add the mushrooms. As much as you like. Because now you know they cook down to at least half their size. Okay. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of butter. Mix. Okay. I'll let that steam a bit. Get the mushrooms starting to cook. Alright, so while the mushrooms are cooking in a pot, I have about 8 cups of chicken stock. You can use any type of stock you'd like. Okay. And I have about 1.5 cups of risotto. So I brought it up to a boil. Now I'm just going to keep it hot. I have it on a medium because as we add the broth to the risotto, we want it to be hot. So it does not stop the cooking process. Alright, they're cooking down nicely. So we'll keep the lid off. Let the juices evaporate a little bit. And at this point, we're going to add salt, a little pinch, some pepper, and about half a teaspoon of thyme. Okay, at this point we're going to add the risotto. I have about 1.5 cups. And we're going to let it cook in the pot. Let it get toasted. If you ever made rice-a-roni where you had to toast the rice and noodles, this would be the same thing. We're just going to let it toast a little bit. You just keep an eye on it, toss it around for about 5 minutes. And so the 5 minutes are up. So now what we're going to do, at this point you would add, say, a splash of wine. If you don't want to add wine, add the juice of half a lemon. And now we're going to start adding the stock. You're going to ladle it in, one ladle at a time. And every time you add a ladle of stock, you're going to let it absorb. This is going to create very creamy risotto. When you see it's disappearing, you'll add another one. And we'll do this for 15 to 20 minutes until the risotto has doubled in size and is fully cooked. And we have a nice creamy risotto. Don't rush, don't put any liquid until you see this one has already been absorbed. You want to keep stirring, keep an eye on it. Okay, so now you see it's all absorbed into the risotto, so now we're going to add another ladle. And we'll continue doing that. You have to be very patient. There's no rush when it comes to this. have my stove on at a 6. Alright, so it's been about 10 minutes. Okay, add another ladle. You can see the risotto is starting to grow now. Slowly becoming nice and creamy. But you want to stir it to get that nice creamy texture. As it fully cooks, it'll get creamier. This is great as a side dish or even main dish. Okay. And we're almost there. Alright, I put my last ladle of stock in. So now I just want to let that absorb. The risotto is nice and tender. And it's all nice and creamy. So we're going to give that just a few more minutes. And what I like to add at the end is some Parmesan cheese and of course some parsley. Nice and creamy. Now when you can push the spoon through and it slowly slides together, you have the perfect creamy risotto. As you can see, it closes up nicely. Okay, so let's add some Parmesan cheese, about half a cup, whatever you'd like. And then a teaspoon of parsley. Give that a nice stir. And there we have our creamy risotto with mushrooms. Absolutely delicious. Beautifully creamy. Shut the heat off. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. I hope you can see that it's so easy to make risotto. Don't be nervous. It's just food. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.